A beautiful morning to you and welcome to yet another moment of a Sport Talk on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Emmanuel Michael. Glad to be here this morning to take you through some of the happenings in the world of sport. Top on our menu this morning, Abia State set to host a Tech Ball Championship. Coming in from the world of tennis, Raducanu suffers another setback in China Open. Coming in from the world of football, Nigeria secures a spot in FIFA World Cup playoff. Details of this and many more will be yours after this short time out. Welcome back from that short break. Kingsley is here this morning. Kingsley, good morning and welcome to Sport Talk.
Yeah, Mike, thank you very much for having me. Very, very happy this morning, knowing the fact that at least Super Eagles of Nigeria still stand a chance, to play, at the World Cup, and very, very happy this morning. But Mike, nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Nice to be here indeed, and I can tell you that Nigerians are very happy this morning, especially the Super Eagles fans because of the impressive victory yesterday. But we'll get to talk about that. Let's talk Tech Ball on the show this morning because all is set for this year's National Tech Ball Championship slated in Aba Sports Club, Aba in Abia State from 15th through 18th of October 2025 as Bayelsa State Tech Ball Association complete its preparation for the 4-day fiesta. The coach of the team, Mr. Akwasa Wayoyo, assured the Bayelsans that with the quality of players available, coupled with the level of training, that the team is ready to face, to face any opponents in the country. The leader of the delegation and chairman of the State Tech Ball Association, Honorable Uro Kiani, while addressing the players, promised that the team will give their best in order to project the state, maintaining that the Bayelsa state government has provided everything needed to execute the competition. Kingsley, Tech Ball is one sport that we are not that strong, but then some states are also making a very positive impact. Example is River State. They've been one of the top tech ball playing states right here in the country. But beyond that, Abia State is gradually becoming a hub of sports.
Yeah, definitely. They're gradually becoming a hub of sports in the country. I think they just hosted the Para Championship. The other day, I think we were even talking about them hosting the wheelchair championship, even the wheelchair basketball championship as well. So I was seeing Abia State, gradually becoming that next destination when it has to do with sport. Of course, when you talk about sports, in the country, you mentioned Lagos, you mentioned Akwa Ibom, all right? Now Abia State are gradually coming, into that, particular category, as it stands. I know you also mentioned River State as well, but when you take a look at the way the governor of the state, Alex Uti is gradually, putting things. Of course, you want to give them that opportunity, of hosting championship. Now they just concluded the Para Championship, and now they're looking forward to host, Tech Ball Championship. It shows that there is massive improvement, when it has to do with sports, of course, in the state. And you must give it up to the state government. They've been trying as much as they can to put the states in a very, very good shape to welcome visitors, and all of that. So that's why we're saying, all of this now being treated to Abia State. And another thing is the fact that the state government they're very welcoming. They cherish this thing, and they see how, of course, to make sure they reward those who actually do well, at the end of the day. That's why you see these organizers who want to make sure they take this tournament, down to Abia State. I think it's a good thing. What I just expect from Abia State at this point is for them to try to see how to improve the sporting facilities, of course, in the state. Just like we've seen, of course, in Lagos, and that will really, really be massive going forward.
That will really indeed be massive going forward for Abia State. He further appreciated the governor, Senator Duye Diris, his deputy, Senator Lawrence Kujapo, and the Commissioner for Sport, Dr. Daniel Igali, for the unwavering commitment toward the development in the 5 sports years which they have set out. The participating states in the championship include the likes of Abia, Niger, Ondo, Jigawa, Rivers, Oyo, Anambra, Delta, Imo, Enugu, Gombe, Nasarawa, Kaduna, Edo, Kwara, Bayelsa, Plateau, and Kogi State. The event to participate include a single male, single female, doubles, and of course mixed doubles. We see how this one will go, but then, like you can hear there, that there are so many states that have been, enlisted to take part in this year's edition of the Tech Ball Championship, set to start today far away in Aba, that is Abia State. We see how all this will go, but then we hope that the governor of the state, talking about Alex Oti, is going to do a lot more in terms of improving sporting facilities across the state, just like Kingsley have stated. The man has been on a trajectory move of trying to, revive sport right there in the state. And of course, it's a good one because sport is one material, one tool that can be able to take so many unemployed youths off the street and give them, a good living. But away from that, let's talk tennis on the show, because Britain's Emma Raducanu struggled physically in the 3-set loss to world number 219 Zhu Li in the first round of the Ningbo Open in China. Raducanu, who is 22, faded badly against the Chinese wild card, losing 3-6, 6-4, 6-1 in 2 hours, 26 minutes. Disappointing start for Raducanu. Kingsley losing to world number 219.
Yeah, it's a very disappointing one. That's why I actually, saw that one as a huge setback, for her, down there in China. She's been struggling in China. This is not the first tournament she's played this season in China, and then she's been complaining bitterly about the weather condition down there. I heard she was even suffering of high blood pressure, in this particular one. That's why she couldn't do well. I think China is not really favorable, of course, for Emma Raducanu. I think that's why we're seeing this, a poor performance, from her at this point in time. For me, if I'm Emma Raducanu, I'd rather stay back than going there, to struggle and being beaten by a player you're well ranked, down in such a manner. So for me, it's not a good one. We understand, yes, the weather condition not really that good, and she's really struggling. But like I said, it would have been better that she didn't even participate. Maybe after the first tournament, you can't cope with this weather condition. You should just go. It's not must that you must. I know she's trying to be fit, trying to get back, her mojo, playing all these mini tournaments, makes you, of course, to measure up, and all of that. But you can't kill yourself. If the weather is not good enough, just try to relax and maybe look out for other tournaments that you can prepare. I understand the Australian Open is just by the corner, a few months to the Australian Open and all of that. So tennis players are just trying to see how they can, of course, beef up themselves, for next. The season is, almost over at this point in time. So for Raducanu, I really understand the condition, but being beaten by a player ranked, I think, 120 something 220 something.
Yes.
So it's not a good one at all. So it's really a huge setback for her. I just hope that maybe she will have to leave China now and see how she can go get a rest and look forward to participate in other tournament that probably the weather condition will be favorable.
Not a good one, we can tell you, for Emma Raducanu. She has been embarrassed, because I call that an embarrassment, losing to world number 219 for a player that is among the best when you talk about the WTA. Not a good one for her career, and I believe that she can, of course, go back, take a rest, and prepare for the Australian Open, which is just a few months away, and bounce back in a very strong manner to, of course, claim her a place of pride in the world of WTA. Away from that, Israel gymnasts, including reigning world floor champion Artem Dogopat, will not compete at the upcoming World Artistic Gymnastics Championship after host nation Indonesia denied them entry. The Indonesian government refused to issue visas to the Israeli delegation, citing the country's ongoing military operation in Gaza. The decision effectively bars the athlete from participating in the championship, which begins on Sunday and run until 25th October. Dogopat was one of 6 gymnasts alongside Yaledin, Ron Patov, Liel Raz, Yali Shoshani, and Soni Shameh, who submitted the request to CAS in conjunction with the IGF. All right, Kingsley, because of the military onslaught currently ongoing in the Middle East, it has severed the diplomatic ties between Israel and, of course, Indonesia. And invariably, this has affected their sportsmen and women.
Yeah.
Should politics be mixed with sports?
No, Mike. No, because at the end of the day, it will actually affect, innocent athletes who are innocent, at this point in time, because these athletes, if you want to check, probably have nothing to do with the issue between, Israel and Indonesia at this point in time. They are not the root cause, of the war or whatever is going on, at this point in time. So why punishing them? Why depriving them of what they are supposed to get, at this point in time. So it's really, really unfortunate. It's really, really unfortunate that the athlete, of course, will have to suffer for what they did not plan or for what they did not do, at the end of the day. For me, I think the gesture from Indonesia is not a good one. They should have probably granted them, of course, visa. It's not after they finish participating, they go back to wherever they're coming from. Would this, join forces with those already on ground and start fighting them, once again? So for me, I think it's not a good one. They should have, not take, this political issue, down to, sport at this point in time, because at the end of the day, these athletes, after preparing so well, for these tournaments, will not participate, and it will definitely affect them. Finances have gone into this one, and all of that. And I hear they've even taken the case to Court of Arbitration for Sports. I don't know how that's going to pan out at the end of the day, but it's really, really, a disappointing one. This is the same issue we saw between Russia and Ukraine, and we understand how, those athletes from Russia, how they suffered, for some time. I think it was also recent. I think they gave them a waiver or something. Some of them competed, without the flag, of their country, and all of that. It really affected them in so many sports. Even in tennis, there was a time that they say, oh, if you're from Russia, you participate without points. Your point will not be added to you and all of that. So why punishing them because of the fact that, both countries are fighting, and all of that. But if you look at it critically, these athletes somehow do not have anything to do with the root cause, or for the war. So I don't think they deserve to be punished. Rather, what you do, maybe you monitor them properly when they come into the country, and then when they are done, you monitor them and they leave. In order for you to say, okay, maybe this one came to spy, or this one came to do the information and all of that. So for me, I think it's not really, really fair. Bringing politics into sports, I don't think that is a good mixture. It's not a good one at all. And for me, going forward, I think this should properly be looked into, so that, sportsmen and women will not continue to suffer, in such condition.
Not a good one at all, mixing sports with politics. It doesn't really go down well because some of the innocent sportsmen and women, they are going to suffer because of the politics being mixed with sports. Meanwhile, Leopard 28 won Olympic floor gold at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics and silver in Paris last year. He also two-time European champion, but then he's not going to compete in this year's edition because of the blockade being imposed by Indonesia against Israel because of the ongoing military onslaught far away in the Middle East. And it's not a good one at all. You can't actually punish innocent sportsmen and women for a political reason, politically motivated fight out there in the Middle East. So we've seen it also affecting Russian. Just like you heard from Kingsley, where some of their players, were reducted point, some were compelled to participate as a neutrals. Courtesy of that, some Russian athletes even had to, of course, switch allegiance to some other country in what they cited as the, political, uneasiness out there. So not a good one. You can't actually compel sportsmen and women and tie them around politicking that is happening there. We hope that hence the case has been taken to the Court of Arbitration for Sport CAS. They are going to do the needful. In the footballing world, FIFA has long barred these kind of things, and that is why when a player scores, you make any sort of celebration regarding any political activities. I mean, that player is bad. So for me, I think they should look into that angle. The athletic world should look into that area, separate politics from sport, because sport is a unifying factor. You can't use the tools that unite to probably start dividing, people from different sundry. It doesn't go well. But then we leave it and see how they can be able to act on that. There was a renewed optimism in the world of football coming in from the Benin City on Tuesday, October 14th, as Bendel Insurance has officially unveiled their coach, talking about Kennedy Boboye in their sports complex out there. Kennedy Boboye as their new technical director, marking the beginning of a new era for the football club. The event also witnessed the display of a Bendel Insurance, a new jersey for the ongoing season. The colorful ceremony held at the media center of the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium attracted key figures in Edo Sport, including the chairman of Edo State Sport Commission, Commissioner Honorable Desmond Enabulele, the club chairman, Honorable Jared Tenebe, Permanent Secretary of the Sport Commission, Mrs. Amens, and the Executive Director of Sport Development, Mrs. Sabina Chikere, with the appointment of Kennedy Boboye, a tactician known for his discipline, tactical intelligence, and winning mentality. Meanwhile, stakeholders and fans alike are hopeful that Bendel Insurance is set for a resurgence in the Nigerian Premier Football League. So it is no longer a news, Kingsley, that Kennedy Boboye, was appointed or has been appointed as a Bendel Insurance coach on a 2-year contract. We saw some of the sport, creme de la creme in the state coming out, of course, welcome and unveiled Kennedy Boboye. With where Bendel Insurance find themselves, do you think that Kennedy Boboye has, the muscle to absorb the pressure of this high expectation?
I think if you take a look at Kennedy Boboye, he's one man that have what it takes to be able, of course, to help a team. That are really down the lane, in the league table. We've seen it, on several occasions. It's just that the last time he couldn't help Aqua United, to survive relegation. But when you take a look at his time at Heartland Football Club, he almost, helped them survive relegation before he was actually being asked, of course, to put down his dues, and leave the team, So Kennedy Boboye, if you take a look at it, Nigerian football has been tagged as Sam Allardyce, the man, of course, who always comes to the rescue whenever a team is not doing well, in the league. And so far, so good. I think he's trying the most to kind of course to maintain that status, and he's been one man who has much knowledge, about the Nigerian Premier Football League. He's coached several sides. In fact, I think he has won the title twice.
Yeah.
I remember he won with was it Plateau United and Aqua United as well. And as well, he has coached so many teams, so he has the experience. But the question is, I wonder why sometimes he doesn't really stay for long, in a team. Sometimes, when he put up that impressive performance, the next season, maybe the next 3 seasons is always not a very easy one, for him. But if you take a look at it, Kennedy Boboye is one man I think can, help this Bender Insurance side, to come to limelight. Bender Insurance started very well when he got promoted once again, of course, in the Nigerian Premier Football League. The last 2-3 seasons, they had a very impressive performance. In fact, them and Remo Stars, were the team of the moment. That's those seasons. They were competing, back to back. Well, all of a sudden, I think what really happened was that, I think it was a management issue. The deputy governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, he was the one, of course, overseeing the affairs of the team. I think he was actually removed, and some things started going, the other way around. And take a look from management, it started affecting the team, players leaving, and all of that. But I think with the coming of Kennedy Boboye, all of this issue probably will be sorted out.
All right, we hope that the coming of Kennedy Boboye is going to change the narrative, and so that the Benin Arsenal can find their way back to the top. Away from that, still talking the Nigerian Premier Football League, stories. The Nigerian Premier Football League has announced that the match day 9 fixtures between Barao FC and Kano Pillars will be played behind closed doors on Sunday in a letter dated Tuesday, 14th of October 2025, and signed by the NPFL's Chief Operating Officer, Davidson Owumi. The league body stated that the decision was taken for safety reasons. According to the statement, in quotes, the Nigerian Premier Football League, NPFL, has directed that the match day 9 fixture between Barao FC and Kano Pillars be played behind closed doors in accordance with established safety and security protocols. End of quote. The statement further added that only the following categories of personnel will be granted access to the stadium: referees, council members, state football associations officials, accredited members of the press, and security personnel. A total of 120 persons only are expected to be present within the match arena. No spectators, supporters, or unauthorized individuals shall be permitted into the stadium under any circumstances. Furthermore, the Nigerian Premier Football League Secretariat will continue to deploy 2 officials for subsequent Barao FC home matches to conduct on the sport assessment and provide details reports on compliance, organization, and security standards. So the reason for this is very simple, because of the Kano Pillars bridging the NPFL standing rules, where they had to go on rampage in their last game. 120 persons is going to be in the stadium. This is more like a demoralization for them, because when you have an empty or scanty stadium, the players will not be motivated by the fans.
I think it's very bad, very, very bad. And at this point in time, I think Barao FC, they are the one, bearing the punishment at this, because they never had their hand, they never committed any offense.
True.
And at this point in time, so allowing only 120 persons to come into the stadium, that means you're going to deprive them of their fans, coming to support them, at this point in time. Because Barao FC, maybe their fans, of course, will want to troop in, to come watch the game. And what if they even want to sell tickets, for the game? Knowing the fact that they are playing Kano Pillars, maybe the fans want to, come and watch, the game, as it stands. So for me, it's really detrimental. And Barao FC, like I saw, they accepted the decision. It's really, really detrimental to them. And that's to see that any team that have to play Kano Pillars now will have to suffer the same, situation. So it's really, really bad. And I think it's then time, this Kano Pillars, they try most of the kind to cope this situation. And like I mentioned, I think since last season up to this moment, just like we've heard, they've actually spent about 36 million in settling the Nigerian Premier Football League due to fans invading the stadium, disrupting games, and causing a whole lot of issues. And I think at this point in time, they should be able to have, maybe curb this situation, sensitize the fans, just like we've been saying. If not that, make sure there is adequate security in every match day. That, of course, will help, salvage this situation. If you look at what happened against Shooting Stars, the players were beating, fans all over the stadium. The security were not, security men were not enough, and all of that. So I think there's a lot of things that need to be done to make sure that, Kano Pillars they improve. And thank God they have Ahmed Musa at this point in time, a man who is well traveled, who understands football, possibly as well understand football management, just like we've seen now, him being the manager, of the side. I just hope that with his experience, that he's going to, of course, put all of these things, of course, in place, because it's really, really not good for the image of the team, not good for the image of the league as well, and not a good one for him as a manager, of the side. So we just hope that, going forward, he will try to curb all of this situation. But for me, I think it's very, very bad. It means if you're playing against Kano Pillars, as a team, you're going to suffer, this. We don't know how long this is going to last, but that's the situation. And for me, it's really not good, for Nigerian football.
Really not good for Nigerian football. The error of one team has also trickled down to an innocent team who has been barred from allowing their fans to troop into the stadium because of the misconduct of Kano Pillars. Not a good one. It doesn't, give that team any confidence at all, because their fans will be away from the stadium, and the stadium will be very, very empty. No supporters to cheer them on, despite the fact that they didn't commit any crime, but then the crime committed by Kano Pillars has rubbed off on them negatively. All right, at this point, we'll take a quick break. When we are back, we'll take you through the Super Eagles, their exploit yesterday. Who scored the 3 goals and who scored the other? How did the game pan out? What are the other results that came through in the World Cup qualifiers? We'll do well to take you through that when we are back from this short break. Don't go anywhere. This is Atlantic Television Network. right, welcome back from that short break. Still talking football on the show, but don't forget that the first half of the show we told you how Abia State is making an intensive plan and of course putting things in place to host the tech ball championship. We also told you how Emma Raducanu was upsetted a few hours ago by a player ranked 219th. All right, still talking football on the show. We can also tell you that Rivers United is set to jet out of the country via Mohammed Murtala airport tomorrow to honor their first leg tie in the CAF Champions League against Black Bull far away in Mozambique. But then, six-time CAF African Women Footballer of the Year and four times WAFCON champion Asisat Oshola has been named CAF ambassador. CAF officially unveiled Oshola as one of its newest ambassadors, a recognition that cements her influence on and off the pitch. Oshola, multiple-time African Women's Footballer of the Year, now joins a selected group representing the very best of African football across the globe. It's another milestone for African football queen and a powerful reminder that greatness isn't given but earned. So she has earned greatness because of her consistent performance over the course of the year. Kingsley, she has now joined other elites that are now the face of African football when you talk about women football. Great achievement for Oshola. A
very huge achievement, for Asisat Oshola, six-time CAF Women's Player of the Year. And of course, take a look at Teach has also won the Women African Cup of Nations on several occasions. And not just, continental achievements. We've also seen her achieving great things, especially with the female Barcelona team. She has been nominated for the Ballon d'Or. So when you take a look at it, she has really, really taken Africa a very, very long way. And if you take a look at her achievement and everything she's done in football, you will say Asisat Oshola truly, deserve this particular, recognition. We just hope that, of course, she will continue to be a good ambassador, for the continent and as well, for football down here.
All right, a great ambassador for the continent of Africa because she has joined other elites as the new face of African football, doing great things out there. She has shown like a bright star, won the Women African Footballer of the Year several times, won multiple WAFCON title, and of course nominated for FIFA Ballon d'Or. You can tell you that she has also plied her trade in some of the biggest clubs in Europe, from Liverpool down to Arsenal, down to FC Barcelona, Bay FC. Now she's with the Saudi Arabian side. She continues to make a wave both on and off the pitch, and we say very big congratulations to our own Asisat Oshola Agbabola, as she's fondly called. But then let's talk about the World Cup qualification, because it was a glorious outing for the Super Eagles last night, as Victor Osimhen's hat-trick propelled the Nigerian Super Eagles to a dominant 4-0 victory over Benin Republic in Uyo, keeping Nigerians' 2026 FIFA World Cup dreams alive. Despite the emphatic win, Nigeria missed out on a direct qualification, with South Africa clinching the top spot in Group C. Nigeria's resounding win briefly shifted the group standings, pushing South Africa down. However, the Bafana reclaimed the first place by defeating Rwanda 3-0 in a Nelsport, securing their automatic berth in the World Cup qualification. Nigeria's victory, combined with the Algeria's 2-1 win over Uganda, ensure the Super Eagles a place in the World Cup playoff currently. Nigeria ranked third among the best runners-up behind Gabon and Cameroon, with Burkina Faso in fourth. Nigeria currently ranked 45th globally, has appeared in 6 World Cups, advancing to the round of 16 3 times, which is in 1994, 1998, and 2014. They have also claimed the WAFCON title 3 times, in 1980, 1994, and 2013. Benin, ranked 93rd, has yet to qualify for a World Cup but has participated in 5 WAFCON tournaments, reaching the quarterfinals once in 2019. Kingsley, was an impressive display from the Super Eagles yesterday. So many questions. Where did they forget their scoring boots before this yesterday's game?
I don't know. I don't know where they forgot the scoring boot. So I don't know. Maybe it's as a result of the fact that they knew they were at the verge of elimination. They knew that if they didn't get, of course, a good result, it means that would be the end for them. And talking about the curiosity from the players as well, especially the likes of Victor Osimhen, knowing that if Nigeria doesn't qualify for this World Cup, he might not play, at the World Cup, as well as some of the players as well who haven't tested the World Cup done in the Super Eagles, Chelsea at this point in time. So for me, I think a lot of questions, to ask at this point in time. What happened when they started? Why didn't they score as much as, goals as much as this, to stand a good chance of maybe topping the group, and all of that. So in fact, I think somehow we can get answers to those questions. The team was not in proper shape. If you take a look at how the Nigerian Football Federation managed this World Cup, qualifiers, where they were, shoveling coaches, when a team is, you see every day you keep on changing coaches. You find it difficult. The players find it difficult, of course, to adapt to a certain style and maybe even have a focus and say, okay, this is how we have to execute this game. This is how we have to execute this tournament, or this is how we have to execute the qualifiers. When the coach, how you maintain a coach, you see that probably, of course, they will find a very good rhythm and see how to, push forward. Just like what is happening to Manchester United, where they keep changing coaches. Of course, you've seen that changing coaches is not the problem of Manchester United at this point in time. It's by finding, a way whereby the team can play good football and, of course, score goals and all of that. And that's the same thing that happens to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. If we have maybe maintained a particular manager and then have a very good plan on how to qualify for the World Cup, maybe we wouldn't have struggled, in the manner which, we struggled in to get to the playoff at this point in time. So, for me, I think a lot of factors, contributed. And the boys, of course, they have to really come out of their shelf in that encounter against Benin Republic, scoring 1, 2, 3, 4, goals. It's something that people didn't